we want to reduce risks, uncertainty, to make sure before we buy, let's say, a laptop, or maybe to buy a computer, a desktop computer or laptop computer, whatever type of need we have. And typically, if it's a big decision making, and we need to make sure that we do enough amount of research. And in our corporate or business decision making, we also need to conduct some research, except this time it's much more systematic. So this class learning objective, we have 5. Number 1, to study the marketing concept and the marketing mix. For some of you, it's going to be review, but to some who have never taken any marketing class, I think it's very useful introduction to the concept of marketing and also to the marketing mix. Number 2, to define market research. What is market research? Number 3, to understand the importance of market research in shaping marketing decisions. Number 4, to learn what market research should and should not be conducted. And finally, to understand the pros and cons of internet research. So, the concept about marketing. What is it? The official definition is that the process of planning and executing the conception, pricing, promotion, and distribution of ideas, goods, and services to create exchanges that satisfy individual and organizational objectives. Clearly, it's a very long, convoluted definition. Now, again, I think if I want to explain it in the simple terms, like first, the key is that marketing is a process. What kind of process? It's a process of exchange between individuals and organizations. And individuals have a need to meet. For example, you need to buy some water, right? Organizational objectives say they want to sell bottled water to individuals. For what purpose? Most likely to make money. So it's an exchange relationship, social exchange, a process. But details are is that planning and executing basically need to, that's a 2 big parts of marketing. Planning is a key, and executing obvious is another stage. Now, what is involved? Actually, we look at the conception, talk about the product or services or ideas. Basically, it's called a first P, okay? And then second is that pricing, okay? How much going to charge, right? Number 3 is called promotion. How do you get it out? The idea of selling to consumers, to individuals, right? Promotion basically is that push and pull the product services through channel, which is distribution, right? So we have number 3P, which is promotion. Number 4P is called place. Place literally means that distribution. How do you transport from one place to another? Particularly, how do you transport services, products, ideas from the producer, usually the firm, to individuals? Okay, so this is a marketing process. And if you look at we have this big picture right here. We have a couple of concepts need to be explained to clarify what is marketing. Number 1 is that called customer orientation. Now, without customers, we won't have any need for marketing. So we need to have a customer orientation, meaning basically we study customer, study their needs, their wants, their desires, their aspirations, their frustrations, all those things will become good opportunities for a marketer to take advantage of to make profit. Okay. Number two, it's called systems. Basically, it look at the whole system of the players in this big environment of external environment, internal environment. So this is something system approach basically looking at the holistically, not just any single aspect of the marketing environment. And number three, taught goals. Basically, firms or corporations, they have specific goals of making profits or meeting their corporate organizational goals, which usually is money making, how much money they to make. Okay. Now, number four concept that need to be explained is called a marketing mix, which I mentioned earlier. It's basically 4 P's: the product, price, promotion, and place. So we'll refer to this marketing mix quite often throughout the semester. So this is pretty much a gist of what is marketing. Okay. And then obviously after explaining what is marketing, and then we kind of come to the second definition, which is the key to unlock the whole process of marketing research. Now, market research, again, it's a very long, convoluted definition. But basically, I want you to look at this definition. Think about marketing research as a bridge or link between consumers and the marketers, okay? Through information. Basically, it's information linkage. Imagine that you want to, let's say if you're Apple, and then it's like firm marketer, you want to sell Apple products to consumers, right? So how do I know what type of products I need to sell to consumers and whether they like it or not? We have to constantly communicate with customers to make sure that what we're selling are meeting the needs of our customers. So that's why you talk about it's information linkage between customers, the public, and the marketer. Okay, so basically, now why do we have the 3 word called a customer, consumer, public? Sounds confusing, but really, consumer will talk about the average individuals. Customers sometimes will refer to business customers. For example, Calston Fullerton is a business customer to Dell Computer Company. And sometimes we'll have the public. Public means that some particular groups, like unions, like particular certain social nonprofit organizations, So sometimes they are very important to marketers because especially the public opinion on certain products or certain services, are very important to the process of selling. So this is really something. Make sure that you guys understand that the market research is nothing other than just it's gathering information, right? Talk about the information gathering process, and then now we gather information to do what? To identify and define opportunity and problems for marketers. And then after you identify opportunities and problems, we can begin to figure out what action we can take, right? And as we take those actions, for example, campaign, we launch a marketing campaign, we also monitor what's going on with people's responses to our campaigns, performance in terms of the attitudes and also in terms of the sales in the real marketplace. So again, it is process. Market research is a process. Now, specifically, what type of process is that? Basically, we talk about we need to gather information to address these issues through designing methods for collecting information, managing and implementing those data, and also analyze the data, and then finally communicating our findings and their implications for decision making. So this is something kind of complicated definition. I hope that my explanation helps you, a little bit, but again, as we move along the semester, you'll see more because this is a really the big picture. The research process already embedded with this definition. So why market research is important? Because it serves three critical functions. Number one, descriptive. Number two, diagnostic. Number three, predictive. Now, if you look at the words, the meaning, they're pretty literal, self-evident. What do we mean by descriptive function? We mean that we're gathering specific facts, a statement of facts, no opinions involved, all facts, okay? So describing what's going on. For example, we describe what problems we are facing as a company. Now that's the company-wide. And also we can describe who our customers are. So who are the customers? We describe them. So in terms of their demographics, psychographics, geodemographics, lifestyles, product usage. Those are very specific facts gathered to help us understand our customers, to really gain a crystal clear picture of who our customers are. And obviously, we also distinguish between our current customers, our former customers, and our competitors' customers. So that we have three big piles of targets to work on. So descriptive, right? Now, through understanding the former customers, we figured out why they left us, right? And obviously, through studying the competitive customers, we figure out what we can do to steal those customers, okay? So descriptive, right? Now, obviously, when you have those facts gathered, and then you begin to look deep into those facts, the statements, descriptive data, right? And then try to find out some meanings, like what would we make of those data, and then try to come up with some potential actions. For example, if we find out that our competitors' customers like a particular feature we don't have, then we can say, well, we need to add that particular function or feature to our product. So, and also we talk, for example, we look at our former customers, why they left. Maybe they don't like our customer service. They're not happy with the after-sales service. So then we can come up with some ideas about how to improve our product after-sales services. Now, third function, that predictive, meaning based upon descriptive diagnostic analysis, we begin to specify what we should do for the future, okay? It's basically like to say, what would happen if we do something? It's like a more predictive future, So these three functions are extremely important to management in their problem solving. And also, another reason that market research is important because we need to really try to keep our product services high quality and also make sure our customers are satisfied to the fullest extent. Okay, so this is called really the drive for our product quality and for our customer satisfaction. So this is extremely important, especially in this innovative world of marketplace. It's so competitive, and if your quality is going down, or if you cannot keep your customer happy, you don't have a business, literally. And also to keep our current customers happy, okay? Customer retention. Now, customer retentions are very important to our business because acquiring a new customer takes much more energy time. Probably 3 or 4 times more expensive to for the maintaining of the current customers. So without existing customers, you don't have a business either. Also, number three is try to look to the future, try to anticipate what's going to happen in ever-changing marketplace to see whether our products or service would be outdated. Especially in this computer-driven modern technology, it's make lots of services products obsolete. Okay, so if you look at the retailers, which you guys going to examine in your brew project, lots of retailers are gone bankrupt. Why? Because they cannot adapt to this fast changing marketplace. Now let's move on to talk about the type of research studies that we do. Now we need to distinguish two big camps. One is called basic, the other called applied. Now, basic research usually it's really called, sometimes we call it pure research, in the sense that the purpose of basic research try to expanding the frontier of knowledge rather than for solving a specific problem. Research done for research's sake. Try to figure out the basic fundamental mechanism of how human brain solve a problem. Okay. So typically it's non-profit. Universities, grant recipients, government, they sponsor the kind of research. Basically, they only cost money. It's only for long-range planning. They don't have immediate benefits. The benefits would be reaped much later by usually society or some companies taking advantage of this basic knowledge. On the other hand, we have applied research, which is usually aimed at solving a specific pragmatic problem, such as a better understanding of the marketplace. Like we talk about, try to get a deep understanding of what's going on in the retail world of today's marketplace, right? So what's going on, okay? And then find out what kind of strategy we should have. Like, for example, some companies adapt extremely well, like Target. They've been doing extremely well, while other companies suffer, like Macy's, suffer. Some company like Best Buy, they are doing a good job of adapting into this modern technological driven pure play like Amazon. They literally kill hundreds of thousands of retailers. So basically, applied research, and most marketing research fall into the category of applied research. I should not say most, but pretty much all of them. The companies usually they are not interested in doing basic research. So and then look further at the couple categories falling under the applied research studies. Number one is called pragmatic. Number two is called selective. Number three is called evaluative. And from the meaning of those three words, you can see what it looks like. Okay, programmatic basically means that it's a program. It's a program of research. The researcher try to figure out like a big picture, like a market segmentation, like what segments of the market we need to tap into to generate more profit. For example, the Marriott hotels, for example, they tap into all different segments of the markets, try to identify different pockets of markets, and then they design some hotel to meet their needs. For example, they find out extended stay. For some people who have a need to stay away from home for considerable longer period of time, so they invent like a new category of a need, basically to satisfy those particular people who want to be on legal staff for away from home for like 1 month or 2 months. And also figure out market opportunity analysis. Basically, for example, we talk about any kind of a new product, right? And then whether that's feasible, especially expanding into a new country, that's a big risk involved. So you need to do really programmatic research. And obviously, you need to understand the consumer attitudes and predict usage studies. Basically means that to see whether people like that kind of product if you sell to them, okay? And then based upon the test market, you predict how much revenue you might be able to generate. And the second type of applied research is selective. Basically, this is very simple stuff. Try to determine which decision alternative is the best. Now, let me give you a concrete example. Let's say you want to figure out what color is best for your target markets. You have blue, red, and green. 3 different choices. Now, simple thing is that you can do a test, right, to see what is the most popular. Okay, so then it's called selective. Evaluative, obviously, it's a research research done try to assess the program performance. For example, you want to design a research study to evaluate how a presidential campaign works or how a presidential campaign performs against its competitors. Okay, we're in the election season. Obviously, we can lots of both parties. I'm sure politicians they are using market research firm to conduct research to see what is effective, what is not effective. Decision to conduct a market research. Now, this is very important because although we talk about the importance of conducting market research, but under certain circumstances, we might decide not to do the research at all. Okay, so number one is called resources are lacking. Now we talk about lacking in terms of time and money, effort, right? Time and money. Those are the 2 important resources. Okay. Number 2, research results might not be useful. Now, if we conducted some kind of theoretical research and we find out like the personality type related to product usage, and then if we cannot use it, and then what's the purpose of doing it? All opportunity has passed. Now we talk about the opportunity. Talk about, let's say, look at the laptop market. It's saturated. The marketplace don't need another laptop, right? And it's difficult to be the new player into the marketplace. Decision has already been made. This happens when the top management has already made up their mind, regardless of the results from the research. Now, it's not right to do research, And also, managers cannot agree on what they need to know to make a decision. They have no idea what they need to know. Now, obviously, there's no plan, so this is like a chaos, and then you don't want to take the research project. Next, decision-making information already exists. Now, 9 out of 10 times, the problems may not be unique to you. I mean, some other people have already encountered similar problems. It's almost like you want to find out how to fix a washing machine. Then you don't need to conduct lots of research. Some people already give you a video how to fix a washing machine. So I mean, you don't need to conduct tons of research to do that. So. And research costs outweighs the benefits of research. It's a losing game, so you don't play it. Okay, so this is very, very important. You don't have the time to do research, right? It's similar to the one that at the beginning, resources lacking, and time is also a critical factor. The research results will likely only be shelved, meaning that research done for the research sake. I mean, your management will not use the research results, even though they think it's important, but they still go and make the decision without the research at all. Okay. Now let's talk about internet surveys, okay? Because the rise of internet, in the last 20, almost 30 years, has dramatically changed or transformed the whole marketing industry, research industry, and especially in terms of surveys. Just how surveys done. I mean, we have lots of pros and a few cons in terms of uh, conducting research on the internet. Number one, obviously, enables rapid access to information. Now, nowadays, once deploy a research survey, you can get information like 24 hours, rapid information access. I mean, sometimes you can see once you, especially if you design a survey, send it to a panel members, and you'll be amazed how fast you can get information in real time. I did one for the Latino Communication Center and an institute actually. I observed, and we did research with survey actually the Qualtrics. I mean, just I was monitoring the results coming in as the survey just sent out real time. Second, fosters easier execution of following up and longitudinal studies. This is very, very important because then you can compare one wave of survey with another, and then it's very conveniently. Compared with offline survey, many times it's difficult. I mean, you have to call and you make sure that you get the same group of people. And number three, enables management to respond quickly to a customer's needs. Now, sometimes the turnaround time of on internet service is very, very fast. So you can modify your campaign or modify your product in real time to meet the needs of consumers or customers. And obviously, next we talk about the reduced data collection and overall costs, money issue. Internet surveys are much less expensive. And obviously, now it's electronic. You can quickly publish, report, decimate research results. I mean, it's electronic. I mean, it's compared with paper age. It's totally different ballgame. And internet also transform secondary data gathering. Okay, because you can definitely gathering lots of data using the internet survey as well. Next, we talk about personalization of surveys. It allows you to add lots of personalizing features into your surveys. Okay, you can customize, personalize any way you want. Get different segments of the respondents, and then skip or some question for certain customers and or respondents. Also, a very quick survey response and also help conducting analysis. Now, you guys, when you use Qualtrics, you'll feel that. I mean, you research. You can do research analysis on the inside of the survey software. And also, internet survey tend to produce higher response rates. Obviously, this is with a qualifying term. A higher response rate compared with the mail survey, particularly if you have proper incentives. And then internet survey also help you to contact the hard to reach like audiences. In the before the GLBT community was widely accepted by the mainstream, and then this is a group that usually difficult to get to reach. So internet would be a good way to do it. But now still, the internet is a good way to reach some people who are private or sensitive. They don't want to be interviewed, especially for the purpose of being, like say, for example, sensitive health information or sensitive information, which could lead to some unintended consequence of, let's say, find out their identity, or undocumented immigrants and that kind of stuff. So that's really internet survey would be sometimes better to do that because it's more anonymous. Next is talk about the rapid deployment and real-time reporting. I mean, I talked about a little earlier. So basically, you can look at the results in real time. And then you can also change your research focus quickly, meaning based upon the results coming out of the field, and you can redeploy your modified survey to get the different results. Some of the cons of internet surveys. The big problem, obviously, talk about representation, representative of the population. Internet sample could be huge, 10,000, 20,000, but even if such a large sample size doesn't mean that they are representative of the population from which the sample taken. So that's always a big problem. And then number two, you talk about over serving your audiences. This happens especially if you use panel members. If you, like for example, panel, if you conduct a surveys quite often, and then they turn into like professional respondents, the result won't be that meaningful because they know how to respond to questions. And the last one, obviously, talk about internet access. This becomes a less of issue in recent years. This was a big issue at the beginning of internet age. Now I think most people, majority of Americans have internet access. So that's but still could be an issue. Okay, now let's shift the gear a little bit. Talk about the reasons. We have 8 reasons to choose market research as a career. Now, I don't know what's your career focus. Some of your PR major, others are advertising major, others are entertainment, marketing, and also journalism majors. But if you're still not sure what to do, market research could be a very productive and profitable career path. And so I want you to read the book. So looking at on page 13, I'll talk about some of the possible reasons why you should consider the market research as a career. And some of the 8. I'm going to read a little bit. Talk about the reason. The chance to drive competitive strategy. Now, we talk about the marketers. Okay, so marketers really try to figure out the strategy. But if you know how to conduct research, and then you're at the cutting edge of figuring out the strategy, and also talk about figure out what competition is doing. Okay, and then obviously number 2, talk about opportunity to make your mark. Okay, so companies continue to seek talents who can really just get into the complexity of the consumers, just try to drive the innovative industry. So you need, if you just get into research track, and you always at this cutting edge. Okay. And number 3, talk about ever increasing variety. Okay. Now obviously talk about, now we have more ways of doing researches, compared with traditional research. Number 4, talk about global opportunities. Okay, you can if you begin your career as a market researcher, you can potentially looking for global opportunity. You can work in Tokyo, you can work in Beijing, you can work in London. Okay. Number 5, thrill of discovery. Okay, basically, if you love research and you can just keep learning something new. Okay. Number 6, never-ending learning. Okay, this is true because you do research, you're basically curious about what things happen, why the way they happen. Okay, and also curiosity. For me, I love research, so I want to find out why, what. Number 7, transferable skills. Okay, this is something very important because if you have a research background, you kind of know strategies. Okay, because strategy is based upon research. Researchers typically, they conduct research and they figured out strategies, and then they report the findings, strategies to the management, and the managers just read your strategies. Okay. Number 8, more fun. I don't know about this part, but to some people it's fun, to other people it may not be fun. But just let you know, this is good career track. And one more reason is that let me just go to our site, which is something you can make sure that it give you one more reason why it's good. Okay, this is a site called the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics. Okay, now I want you to look at the U.S. Basically look at the market research analysts. There is a page on our Canvas site talk about the employment opportunities. I'm reading from the website, and I give you some ideas about how much money you can make. According to this Bureau of Labor Statistics, 2019 median pay for a marketing research analyst is $63,790. Now let me back up. Is that the median pay for marketing research analyst is $63,790 per year. It's average about $30 per hour. Okay, that's pretty good. Entry level education requires a bachelor degree. Okay, and then the numbers growth outlook 20%. Okay, much faster than average from 2018 to 2020. So okay, so this is really fast growing occupation. Okay, so it needs lots of researcher, marketing research analysts. So this is something I want you to pay attention. Okay, so for example, to help you understand why I'm encouraging you to consider this as a possible career track. Okay, in summary, we have covered today what is marketing, what is marketing research, what is the marketing research mix, and also why it's important for decision making. The market research is important for decision making when not to do research. And obviously, last item we covered is called pros and cons of internet surveys. Okay, so to-do list. Number one, to complete chapter number one. Okay, for quiz. And then number two, to meet with your team members, decide if you want to change the team leader randomly selected by the computer. Number three, team leaders started studying the group project requirements document and began the planning process. And also, especially team leaders, you must watch that video I just did for the group project. All right, that's all for today. I'm going to see you next time.